everybody, I'm Hung from Piano Education, and today I will talk about a very interesting topic. It is about earthquake and is it possible to predict like some cities like Los Angeles, Istanbul, Tokyo, and Lima. They are regularly affected by earthquake because it's located near the edge of the Earth's huge shifting plate, and this city face the risk of serious damage from earthquake and also tsunami. So the question here is earthquake possible to predict, or is it just a random and impossible to predict a phenomenon? So like in Japan, government scientists say that they have an answer to the question, and they believe that they can predict it. So, for example, uh, yeah, for example, the scientist has has have predicts that the region of Tokai, southwest of Tokyo, here, two plate batteries have generated huge earthquakes every 100 to 150 years, but there has been a major earthquake here since 18, 1854. So, so the theory here, so so the theory here is that stress is building up in this zone, and it could lead to a massive quake. So it is not like a prediction, but it's more like a forecast. And it is one thing to say that an earthquake is likely to happen in a high risk area. So scientists in the Parkfield, California, also trying to predict earthquakes. They choose the town Parkfield not only because the St. Andrews fault into it, but is knowing for having earthquakes quite regularly. So like every 22 years. So in the late in the late 1980s, scientists in Parkfield decided to study the fault to see if there were any warning. There were any warning signs to a quake. So to do that, to do this, they drill a deep into the fault and set up equipment to register the activity. Then they waited. Then they waited for the quake, but nothing happened, and the quake did finally hit on September 28th for 2004. It was years off the schedules, and the most disappoint the most disappointing was the lack of the warning signs. So the warning sign. So it led many to believe that perhaps earthquakes really are random events. So instead of giving up, the scientists also try more, and and they in the Parkfield they dug deeper into the ground, and by late summer 2005, they had reached the fault final depth of 3 kilometers, where they continue to collecting data, hoping to find a clue. So, and then they found something like in an article published in the July of 2008 named Journal Nature. The researcher in Parkview claimed that they have detected a small change before the earthquake hit. So what had they noticed? Like when the crack in the font has widened slightly, the scientists can see the first change in 10 hours before an earthquake of 3.0 on Richter scale hit, and they also identify identical site 2 hours before an 1.0 quake, and this means that earthquake is likely to possible to the earthquake is likely can be predicted. So there's still a long way until we can predict the exactly time and place where the earthquake occur, I mean where the earthquakes occurs. So now we just can try and try more to predict the earthquake in order to prevent the loss of life. This is the end of my talk. Thank you for your listening.